Yeah,
go for it.
Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's Initiative Plays and we're back with something a bit different. This is the Monday Mix. This is where me and Elliot get on a rant about everything that we disagree with in the gaming world or just in general. So what we're going to start off today is with Pokemon Go. But first, you'll see the intro now. See you in the video. Okay, so you'll notice Pokemon Go's been out for a while, and Pokemon Sun and Moon have been announced, coming up in around 3 months now. And you'll have noticed that there's been a lot of Alola forms announced. The Alola forms are a nice concept, and it was definitely something we kind of got to terms with at the beginning, because it was obviously it's in a different region, so it's kind of believable that you can have a different species of Pokemon, right? But the problem we have, the designs generally look bad for the Alola forms. What tends to happen is they've made things a lot more
stretched.
Yeah, stretched. We're gonna be stretched, but things don't look as menacing anymore. So if you've seen the Meowth, that's gonna be on screen now, and then you've got things like the Raichu, Executor. I
think the only good one I've seen is Marowak.
Yeah, Marowak.
And maybe the Sandslash.
Yeah, they can kind of pull it off. The only thing with the Sandshrew and the Sandslash is, if you've seen them on screen now, is in the name it says sand and then both ice.
Yeah.
And I mean, the context of it being in a different region makes sense for them to be always to keep them cooler. But if you're talking it to real world, which I know we're not, obviously in a hotter climate, you won't see a polar bear in a desert, so that kind of is illogical. And one other thing is Executor being a dragon. This literally makes no sense to me. Sorry, Charizard, you know, you might look like a dragon, but because he's got a longer neck now, he's now a dragon. The concept just doesn't register in my head. And quickly touching on, before we jump on to the next topic, you have what I feel is a big mistake in the Alola forms, because it feels like they've spent so much time focusing on these forms that they've generally let the Generation 7 of Pokemon in Sun and Moon slip away. Like, at the beginning, the mechanics of the game are going to be fantastic, but it generally looks like that generation of Pokemon is just poorly designed, and maybe rather than Alola forms, they could have gone back and refocused and redesigned and made the Generation 7 Pokemon a bit better. You've got the Pokemon that I've written down here, and it's the Bale forms, Pom-Pom, Pow, if that's how you pronounce it, and Senstuso looking birds that you'll see on screen now. And in general, they just look bad, as well as some bear thing, and it just goes on worse. And we really think they should just keep the menacing look about them. When you talk about older generation of Pokemon, we have a bunch like, what's your favourite Pokemon going on?
Probably like, well, even up to Gen 4, 5, there's still good Pokemon I can think of. So you got like Arcanine, you've got your, you know, your Tyranitar,
yeah.
You know, you've got your Typhlosion, your Feraligatrs. Like they're all first stage Pokemon. The Pokemon before were still cool. You know, you still had like your Totodiles, your Blazerkins, your Torchics.
They actually looked like good Pokemon. They actually looked menacing and was ready to fight. Where it feels with the Alola forms,
like there's multitude of good Pokemon. Hydreigon.
Yeah, exactly. Hydreigon coming at Generation 5, I believe. And like even like Zweilous and the pre-evolutions to that, they all look menacing and actually look like Pokemon. If you look at Marwile, this was something that come in and it was like, that actually still looked good as a Pokemon, whereas now it feels like they're really taking that kind of sharp edge away from Pokemon and making it really, take this lightly, very girly, if that makes sense in the way I explain things.
I think the designers are trying to appeal to a wider audience.
Yeah, like,
which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but the issue is there's no balance, because every single Pokemon I see, I'm just like, no. Yeah,
like X and Y had the perfect balance between, like, fairy types being introduced to the game, being able to pet your Pokemon and care for them like that.
It's great to have a cute Pokemon, that's fine, but don't make all 150 of the new generation just cute Pokemon.
I mean, when we looked at the first Sun and Moon legendaries, which, besides being really hard to pronounce, that was Solgaleo and Lunala. If I pronounce them wrong, don't bite my head off. They actually look like really promising Pokemon, and they actually look like good legendaries. And then you're going into the general Pokemon, like I mentioned, the bird forms, that was before for the different regions, that look absolutely diabolical. So what we're going to do now is we're going to move on. We've touched on that enough. I want to know your guys' opinions. Leave it in the comments below what you think of the new Alola forms, what you think of Generation 7. And we're going to jump into Overwatch and quickly touch on Overwatch. So I'll let you take this up.
Yeah, so Monday Mixing is the first time we've done it. There hasn't been, obviously, there's a lot to catch up on. Yeah. So Overwatch, they've updated so many of the characters in a good way. They have nerfed a couple, like Trollbjorn, I believe they've nerfed slightly.
Yeah.
But characters they've gained buffs to McCree, Diva, and Zenyatta. And the reason why Zenyatta's important is because nobody on the competitive team was playing as him at all. Like, literally, you would not find a Zenyatta if you play rank play, or if you played, like, you know, I guess the equivalent to MLG on Overwatch. Everyone was playing as, you know, your Mercies, your Lucios, but no Zenyatta's. Mainly because his support ability was rubbish. And he had no, like, he's basically meant to be a sniping support, a bit like Anna, isn't he, really?
Yeah, essentially.
But now they made him better, so his orbs now have a you know, that you don't need to be in line of sight for as long a period of time. You don't need to keep them in your sight for constantly. You can basically leave it for a few seconds, go back and quickly get it, and you can carry on. Diva, rather than activating her shield and it stays on for those few seconds, you can now stagger, which is fantastic when you're going in. She doesn't kill herself through exploding her own mech, which makes absolute sense for not damaging yourself.
Yeah, definitely.
Because it used to be risk reward with her, but now it's just reward if you get it right.
Oh, definitely, definitely.
So you can basically clear out an entire team without having to worry about yourself. And on top of that, let's say you're going into a point, you're flying in, exploded your mech. You then just run around the point, capturing it, you know, because you've probably wiped out an entire team then. And then McCree, I believe they've changed him, so like, he'll do the same damage at long range, I believe. So now he's a mid to long range player.
The problem with McCree, when they hindered his kind of 6-shot, it really took kind of edge away from him now. That's hard to say because I know in the competitive scene, McCree was still a big
he's
character.
Still a monster.
But what that means now is when you can literally snipe people with McCree and you can pick Pharahs out the sky, that definitely adds a new element to him and constantly makes up for the lack of his 6-shot ability that got nerfed. And I think that was a nice little touch on to give a bit of a spark back to McCree. No,
definitely. Oh, and talking about Overwatch as well, we've got a team without a Tracer, I believe our name is. If I remember correctly, we haven't been on it in a while just because the EU ladders are still being built up. Yeah. But if you want to join that, feel free. You know, that's all good to do. Message if you want to play with us. We love playing Overwatch. That's sick. We'll leave our gamer tags somewhere. Other things we wanted to mention, specifically for Xbox more so than anything, is just the fact that we've noticed that a lot of games, and I mean a lot of old games with the same graphics, have just been re-released for the same retail price. I saw Marvel Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2 being re-released for £44.99 for a game that came out when the Xbox 360 had just came out.
That's pretty poor.
Graphics are the same. Recently Transformers, and I liked the Transformers games. I bought them. And I bought likewise Marvel Ultimate Alliance, but same again. They've released it at full retail, and there's Dead Rising coming out again. Resi's done it. There's Skyrim's doing it. Well, I think with Skyrim they might get away with it, but But there's a lot of games that are just coming out for no reason again. And funny enough, it's when backwards compatibility was announced. Also, all these companies going, let's remake our games for Xbox One.
So rather than re-release them back onto backwards compatibility, then re-releasing them as Xbox One titles, pretty much. Yeah. But the problem with that is that means they could charge full price again, and who's going to want to pay full price for a game that you've played previously and the graphics aren't up to scratch? That's no better than the previous gen. It just makes no sense.
None at all, man.
And it's very frustrating. If you guys are kind of frustrated with that as well and notice the same thing, or whatever your guys' opinion is, leave that in the comments below and let us know. And one last thing to touch on before we head off for the day is the NX console has a patent, however you pronounce it, released. And what I'll try and do is put a picture up on the screen now. If I haven't, it'll be in the description below, a link where you can go and check that out. But that should be awesome. And we know that within the first 6 months, it's rumoured to have a new Mario game released, as well as a new Pokemon game. Now, the most common belief as far as the Pokemon game is concerned is that it's going to be a Pokemon Sun and Moon port. Now, if you have a Pokemon game on console, that's definitely a very intriguing concept to me. I've already made my kind of beliefs clear on Generation 7 as Pokemon, but nevertheless, that means the future for Pokemon could be quite bright. And I think that's going to wrap it up for you this week, guys.
Let's do it, yeah. This has been the Monday Mix with me and the Kookings. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.